Welcome to today's Tips for the Trades podcast on the 6 reasons flat rate just doesn't work. Today, we dive into the 6 most common reasons contractors use as explanations about why they don't switch to a flat rate methodology from a time and material pricing system. Does flat rate really work? Will my customers leave in droves if I switch the way I price my service work? Isn't flat rate just a way to gouge customers with exorbitant rates? If I am already flat rate, isn't it cheaper to build the pricing system myself than hire a professional flat rate company? Regardless of whether you are a flat rate advocate, a flat rate critic, or just unsure if this pricing method is for you, we have information you will find interesting, so stay tuned. Did you know that flat rate pricing can increase transparency and focus your customers on the quality of your service rather than the ticking of the clock? Let's examine how it can streamline operations and potentially make your customers and your techs happier than ever before. And for those of you who are thinking, "But my business is different," stick around. We'll show you how all service businesses can find a snug fit within a flat rate system. Whether you're a veteran in the trade services industry or just getting your feet wet, this episode promises to have something for you. It's about time we remove the stigma and the mystery around flat rate pricing. Because let me tell you, when done right, flat rate pricing is less about pinching pennies from your customers and more about creating reasonable value and trust for everyone involved. Believe it or not, but flat rate has been used by service companies for over 100 years, Henry Ford being the grandfather of its use in the automotive industry. There must be some reason it is so resilient and used by hundreds of thousands of businesses worldwide. Let's dig in now for the 6 myths why flat rate just doesn't work. So strap in, folks, because it's time to see flat rate pricing in a brand new light, and trust me, the future looks bright. Let's get this ball rolling with myth number 1. Myth number 1, flat rate is just a way to gouge customers and charge them exorbitant rates. You certainly may face competitors in your market that employ flat rate pricing to obscure steep service labor rates. The allure of flat rate pricing is its power to shift customer attention away from scrutinizing your labor rates and obsessively monitoring time, directing it towards appreciating the exceptional service quality you offer, complete with the assurance of no concealed surprises on the bill they greenlight before any work commences. So it does offer a way for some contractors to seriously hike their labor rates if they so desire, because customers won't see the hourly rate anymore. But remember, your friendly flat rate companies simply maintain a helpful database of average repair durations and average national part costs. It's really up to each contractor to decide their own labor rates and part markups. It's not fair to point fingers at flat rate producer if a contractor opts to charge $500 for a 5 microfarad capacitor. If they believe that's the sweet spot for earning their desired profit, that's their call, not the fault of the flat rate company for publishing a price that might seem steep. Remember, everyone has their own unique profit goal, and on the off chance that a contractor's rates seem a bit over the top, maybe what you might think of as predatory pricing, remember that's beyond what a flat rate provider can influence. Honestly, flat rate pricing isn't about turning contractors dishonest or honest. It's simply a method that allows you to showcase the value you offer through your expertise, the stock in your van, and the great team and resources that support your business. It helps customers appreciate what they're getting without zeroing in on just the hourly cost. And don't worry, adopting flat rate pricing doesn't mean you have to hike up your rates out of the blue. You can smoothly transition to a flat rate system without changing your labor charges, yet still enjoy the benefits of customers focusing less on the clock and more on the stellar service you're providing. Myth number 2, my techs won't like it or use it. It's totally understandable that change can be challenging, and when we invite techs to switch their pricing to a flat rate system, we might see a little hesitation, but that's perfectly okay. Just keep in mind that you're the captain of this ship. Imagine it's your baseball field, and you've got the bat, gloves, bases, and uniforms. It's all yours. And if techs prefer something different, they're absolutely free to create their own equipment and play on their own ball field they built, but when playing ball with you, it is your rules that are king, and how you price your work is up to you. Yes, I understand sourcing top-tier tech talent can be challenging, yet this should not deter you from prioritizing what benefits you, your customers, and your staff. Assertively adjusting our rates to a more profitable margin empowers us to enhance our employees' package with superior wages, benefits, and training opportunities. These improvements are unfeasible if you're perpetually entangled in a labor cost competition with a neighboring company, publishing your hourly labor rate and turning prospective clients into price shoppers where you are nothing more than a labor broker. Make customers focus on the quality of your work, not your hourly rate or cost of parts. Based on my experience from training over 1,000 techs nationwide on flat rate, I've noticed that the most resistant techs at implementation often become its strongest supporters. They realize they no longer have to negotiate repair prices with customers. Instead, they refer to the flat rate system, which lists predetermined prices. This removes any responsibility from the tech for setting prices, as it's clearly outlined. The absence of pressure leads to techs warming up to the system, particularly as customers appreciate the transparency and lack of unexpected costs at the end. Myth number 3, it doesn't have everything I do, it isn't perfect yet. A savvy businessman once enlightened me when I was hesitating over something not being perfect as a cause for delaying its release. He said that if Bill Gates had insisted on waiting until the Windows operating system was perfect before its release, we would still be operating on Windows 3.0. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Our flat rate system is designed with care to ensure you spend less time building flat rate tasks and more time providing service to your customers. We are aiming to make things easier for you by covering the lion's share of the most common repairs. It's possible that a small percentage, say 3 to 5%, may require your personal touch with a manual calculation. When this happens, just bundle the total cost together for your customer without itemizing the nitty-gritty details and present them with the totaled flat rate price for the task. Once the job's a wrap, you're welcome to tap into the convenience of having us include this in your flat rate system, or, if you prefer, you can add it yourself with our helpful tools. We've heard plenty of happy chatter from our customers who love those features in our program. More often than not, our system has something that fits the bill perfectly, covering both labor and parts, making calculating a task on the fly a rarity. Over 30 years of empirically tested labor times constitute more than 55,000 repairs and represent the most precise database currently available. Average national part prices, sourced from a variety of distributors, supply houses, and original equipment manufacturers, OEMs, reinforce the veracity of our product. Having been field tested by upwards of 30,000 technicians, we are assured that the Callahan-Roach database, the foundation of the Profit Rhino flat rate sales tool, Service Fusion's flat rate, and the intelligence within other software products in the marketplace, is the most exacting and expansive database in existence. Myth number 4, I will lose money on those jobs that go south. Normally, I can bill for exactly what I did, so why would I give that up and risk losing money by using a flat rate system? Are there certain jobs where you might not make as much profit compared to billing by time and materials? Well, it's possible you'll come across one or two. However, Many service companies that have switched to flat rate pricing actually see a significant boost in their profits. That's because, statistically speaking, there's about a 95% chance that the time you spend on the repair and the cost of the parts will be less than the flat rate you've set. Let me break it down for you. A skilled AC service tech is often able to swap out a condenser fan motor in under 30 minutes when things go smoothly. However, if they come across a blade that's stuck with rust or a unit that's a bit trickier to take apart, it could stretch out to about an hour or so, although, let's face it, that's not the usual scenario. With our flat rate system, we've set aside a generous hour for replacing a condenser motor. So, if your tech whizzes through the job in just 30 minutes, as they will most times, don't sweat the rare occasion it takes them a tad longer than an hour to change that motor. It all balances out nicely since you're ahead on the vast majority of the replacements, which are much quicker jobs. Because of the generous labor times used to calculate repairs, your techs can be more efficient in billing for the time on the job, and the occasional job that takes longer isn't an issue at all other than to the schedule. Myth number 5. My customers won't like it or won't let me do it. This myth seems to be rooted more in our own apprehension about switching things up rather than the customer's aversion to our use of flat rate pricing. Picture this. An independent survey chatted with 11,000 homeowners fresh from a home service experience and asked them an interesting question. Would they opt to pay by the hour, not quite sure how long it'll all take, or would they lean towards a set up front price that sticks no matter how the clock ticks? Now here's a shocker. A whopping 92% said they were all in for flat rate upfront pricing, even if it meant a bit more on the price tag. Let's face it, bill surprises aren't anyone's cup of tea, and that goes for our customers too. If 92% of folks are keen on a fixed upfront price, then isn't it curious that less than 50% of contractors are presenting their pricing like that? Ponder over this cheerful thought. Wouldn't you prefer to know how much a movie ticket costs right away, rather than paying by the hour, where a short flick might be $5 and an epic could run you $25? Absolutely. We'd all love a clear-cut price for the movie, no matter its duration. How about paying more for that football game because it went into overtime? Wouldn't it be a bit silly to pay extra for a well-done steak compared to a rare one just because it hung out longer on the grill? Of course it would. We all appreciate a transparent, surprise-free price, and that's how most businesses operate. Shipping pals like FedEx and UPS stick to one price, not going by miles, and it's the same with airlines. Whether you're cheering at a sports game or pampering yourself at a beauty salon or even settling into a cozy hotel room, as long as it's a reputable hotel, they don't charge you by the minute or by the hour. They charge you a fixed up-front price. I could chat away about the numerous businesses out there that offer a clear upfront fixed or flat rate price, and I bet you could too with a little thought. But, surprise! You're already doing flat rate pricing. Yep, whenever you provide a contract price to switch out an HVAC system, landscape a house, swap a garage door, or upgrade an electrical panel, most companies opt for an upfront contract price. What I'm simply recommending is that you embrace a pricing strategy that's flourishing in other segments of your business, customers overwhelmingly want, is good for you and your business, and extend it to your service department. It's simply about delivering what your customers are looking for. Myth number 6. Why buy flat rate from someone else? I can do it myself for free. Hey, imagine me handing you a hammer, wood, a tape measure, some nails, and a saw. Up your own ladder for sure. But why bother when you can just pop into a big box store, pick up one at a great price, and then focus on what you do best, boosting your company's profits? It can take countless hours to build an accurate, high-quality, flat-rate pricing program, and that is the easy part. The hard part is keeping it updated, raising part prices when they go up, adding new parts, obsoleting old parts, and ensuring repairs are easy to find by developing and maintaining a categorical organization system for your repairs. So, if you are not flat rate, instead of building your own flat rate, take a deep dive into running your company and let the building of price books be done by the experts. Consider the little investment that flat rate demands, which can seamlessly be integrated into your rates as an investment, not an expense. Flat rate that's professionally produced pays for itself in no time. For instance, a modest labor rate bump of only $1 an hour typically covers the cost of professional flat rate in just a week for a company of average size. Plus, your customers will hardly notice a $1 an hour increase, especially when the rates aren't directly in their view. Our friendly team is always on the clock researching new parts, waving goodbye to outdated ones, organizing tasks for a breezy lookup, and tweaking parts costs to dance along with market trends. This info is shared in our apps every quarter, so you're gifted the most up-to-date pricing without involving your wonderful staff, freeing them to focus on what they excel at, making the company thrive and prosper. Then are there really 6 reasons why flat rate never works? Think again. We've just shattered those 6 reasons because they are all myths and misunderstandings. Flat rate is a superior way to charge for your services, and crucially, it's the preferred method for customers to settle their service bills. The most prosperous and well-respected companies in many different service industries leverage flat rate pricing to their advantage. Ignore the handful of naysayers who are ill-advised on the advantages of flat rate or have judged something they know little about other than the myths that they might have heard. Embrace this proven pricing strategy that's guaranteed to delight customers and significantly bolster your profits. Let me share with you one other mistake some businesses make, thinking that because they tried flat rate before and did not have stellar results, then flat rate doesn't work. This reminds me of when my father taught me how to hammer nails, and after mashing my fingers a few times, I threw the hammer down, declaring it was broken when my dad simply said, "The workman can never blame the tools he didn't learn to use correctly. Don't blame a tool that you haven't yet mastered for bad results." With professional assistance, I can assure you that flat rate works. If you had a bad experience, it wasn't the fault of a simple pricing method. Most likely, you didn't have a qualified and experienced company walking you through the implementation. With thousands of successful flat rate rollouts under our belt, maybe it's time to let our 30 years of experience help you make flat rate work in your company. Until next time, this is Jeremy with the Service Fusion Business Academy, the sponsor of the Tips for the Trades podcast. Used by over 8,000 companies today, come see why Service Fusion workflow management software is making waves in the service trades and helping companies be better organized and more profitable. Now offered with the best curated flat rate system in the world, take your customers' attention off your labor rates and put it where it belongs, on your value as a professional company that will solve their problems. Now go out there and build something great. This is your trade, your business, and your legacy. Make it count. Remember, in the trades, every small improvement adds up to big results. So, until next time, keep it growing, keep it efficient, keep it profitable, and keep making your business the best it can be. This is Jeremy with your Tips for the Trades signing off.